It is your Dallas Cowboys owner, general manager, Jerry Jones. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning to you guys, and a beautiful morning. And I just hope we can carry this weather with us to Philadelphia.
Well, we're at the Texas Rangers World Championship Parade, so I got to know your thoughts on the Rangers and when we're going to get a Cowboys parade.
Well, I will tell you this. I know how good those parades feel. I do. And this is such a historic win for the Rangers. And I just can't say enough about how much I admire the way they did it, the odds they were up against. But what I really admire from my perspective that may be a little different is the people that were on the, I'm going to call it the board, but the people that really invested in the Rangers. They had some very tough times a few years back. As a matter of fact, as you recall, actually approached or took bankruptcy.
Yeah.
But there are some people involved. Of course, I admire the majority owner in every way, and the fact that he loved baseball, played baseball means so much. But they've got a guy on their ownership group named Jim Turner. And Jim not only stuck, one of the few that stuck past when Tom Hicks had the ownership on into this ownership. Well, Jim Turner, one of the great sportsmen of our time here in the Dallas area. Jim still leads the scoring record for point guards at Baylor.
Oh, wow.
And Jim is a former chairman of Baylor's trustee and has guided and been a part of the rock-steady success and challenges they've had there. Well, in his own way, millions of dollars at stake, he's been with the Rangers through the Tom Hicks ownership and now through this ownership. I just can't tell you how much I admire him. And, of course, he took Dr. Pepper. He's the guy that took it from almost a corner name into a national brand. And but he's always had sports in mind. So I've got to give a hats off. And consequently, I just can't tell you alone I was rooting for it so bad because of my interest and affinity for Jim Turner.
Now, Jerry, there's a legendary story about you talking with Terrell Owens and drawing on the napkin on the tablecloth, and you drew the big arc and you said, this is the Cowboys. The Cowboys is bigger than all of us. And this feeling that I think the Rangers fans out here are feeling today is we did it, like the whole fan base and everything. Is that the way you look at this Cowboys organization too, is like that's part of the whole we're trying to do this together vibe?
It's always been about we. Always been about we. The Cowboys enjoy such a lineage. You can really go all the way back to the Cowboys, to the challenge this area Dallas had when Kennedy was killed. You can go all the way back there, and you can see why sports success means as much as it does and has meant as much as it does. And I can tell you firsthand, they'll never be able to take this one away from the Rangers, ever. It's their champions. They are a championship. And that will always be there. I can tell you firsthand that, sure, in years to come, they've set the bar higher. They've set expectations. That's a great thing. That's a great thing. It is a privilege to have AT&T Stadium sitting just a few feet from over there where the Rangers are. I just can't tell you how it lifts all boats when you have that kind of success for sports, for our fans in the Metroplex. But it's always about the fans. This whole show, the television, percentage-wise, very few people are in the stands at this day and time. The people, the millions and millions of people are out here watching this stuff on television and engaging their fan base support through that arena. And the Rangers have that. They have this area that they've lifted. I just can't tell you how proud I am for them and of them.
Well, we really do appreciate you coming on weekly because it is for the fans. The fans want to hear from Jerry Jones, and we love getting to interview you, and hopefully we ask some pretty good questions so the fans get some responses. I'm just wondering, you talked about AT&T Stadium here. When the Cowboys win their next championship, will the parade route be similar to this one?
I'm really not that familiar with this route, but I know this, that really is something that I will worry about. I hope that it is the most troublesome thing I've ever had to deal with. I would love to make that the highest, toughest decision I had to make, is to do that World Championship trade route for this area.
How much stock is being put into this Sunday's game against the Eagles? Because obviously lots of hype got put into the 49ers game, and that ended exceedingly poorly. This feels bigger than a regular season game.
Well, it is obvious. It has everything to do with our standings. I've heard someone say, well, this will be a good measuring stick. This isn't about measuring sticks right here. There's a time when you have to quit measuring and just try to go get the win. Because the win itself means so much. The win, not the measuring stick, not the makeup so much of how we did it. That happens earlier, and that does happen. But, man, this is what you're supposed to be doing it all for. This is like playoffs.
Yeah, and especially against a division opponent that, as I said, as a collective, we feel like we're going up against them. You've always said the our city against your city vibe, and that's kind of the feeling going into Sunday for sure, right?
Well, the unique thing about about football is that you usually only play the people you dislike the most one time a year, and you get to say, we beat y'all's ass this year. We're the best. Or back when I was in high school, we won. Now, don't ever forget that. But that's been 50 years ago, Joe. I don't care. We beat y'all's butt. Okay? That's what you play for that one time a year. My town against your town. Now, we do it twice a year against these division rivals. And to me, that actually is as big or bigger than the standings. It is who wears that game for this year. And so we've got to go up there and bring home the prize.
Now, Jerry, they have three lethal receiving options. They have a really good offense. The A.J. Brown can do it one way. Devontae Smith can do it another. When you were planning your secondary, when you added Gilmore this year, was there a lot in stock of what the Philadelphia Eagles have offensively? Absolutely,
it was, and they've done additions as well. But we really had our trading deadline. We made our trading deadline before the season started, and that's why we traded for Stephen Gilmore, and that's why we traded for Brandon Cooks. And so I know there's been a lot of talk here lately about the trading deadline, but thank goodness we had the opportunity to get that trading deadline done back before we started the season. Consequently, right now, 1 week or after the trade line, these guys have been working with quarterbacks. They've been working with scheme. They're ready to go. Guys that just were brought in last week, they've got a pretty nice little curve to get on the same page.
Now, that being said, was there anything on the table that was brought to you or that y'all considered at this trade deadline? Like, I hear what you're saying before the season, but was there anything this week that got brought up that you're like, maybe?
I understand the reason for the question, but really, if you look at it, anything that's talked about or speculated about is as dead as Napoleon. It didn't happen.
Fair.
It just didn't happen.
Fair.
And so it serves no purpose. Or first of all, it might be a negative in future conversations. And so it serves no purpose. It doesn't serve any purpose with our team. It doesn't serve any purpose with future conversations with who you were talking to talk about all these what ifs. And that's what they are until the pedal hits the metal.
So, Jerry, obviously this one's really important, but I just think of home field advantage, and I know that's a long way away. Playoffs for the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles. Most likely you're both going to be in the playoffs. But this one means a lot for home field advantage. Do you think of that at all, or just think, look, we're in the middle of the season and there's a lot more to go?
I used to worry about home field advantage until the Rangers showed me that they can win the championship away. So I've changed my tune off of this great job the Rangers have done.
Well, I mean, to use that inspiration from them, the manager Bruce Bochy has said after they won and everything a number of times, these players inspired me. They inspired me to keep going. They inspired me for these different things. Do you hope that your guys see what's going on with this Rangers team and get inspired by that too?
You couldn't have red blood in your veins and have the chance to compete for something, especially if it involves sports, and not be additionally inspired by the Rangers. And I'm inspired by their manager. I'm inspired by their ownership. I'm inspired by the numerous guys that stepped up to make all that happen. It's the consummate definition and description and example of a team. And it shows how many things have to come together to make it hit just right. Mm-hmm. And then it's like catching a falling star. It's hard to have it fall together. But I'll tell you one thing, give me these road warriors and I'll take on about anything, in sports or out of sports, if they'll play the way these Rangers did on the road.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Going up against the Eagles and Jalen Herz, who was runner-up for MVP last year, do you see similarities between him and Dak at all? Do you think they are evenly matched? How would you stack? I know they don't go face-to-face, but how would you stack up the quarterback matchup this weekend?
Well, they both have always had, as a part of their makeup, they both have always had having an instinct as to when to get the most out of them, taking it down and run it. So there's a similarity there. Hertz is strong, inordinate strong, strongest running quarterback I think I've seen. And so that's a big deal. And Dak knows how to pick his spots and hurt them. And so I think they have some similarity there. I know when we were looking at Hertz in the draft, we noted that he does really do some good things, makes good decisions, and is effective with his legs. So they are comparable there. Their throwing speaks for itself. Dak has an inordinately strong arm, very strong arm. And I would say that Hertz, when you look at his background coming from Alabama to Oklahoma, then turn around and doing what he's done up at Philadelphia, you've got to say that leadership is written all over him as well. So they're in that category, they're similar. You notice I'm reluctant to compare them. Because that'll not only get you in trouble, but is not fair to either one of them. I'll tell you this right now. I am proud to have our boy.
How are you feeling
and
about
that doesn't imply that I don't wish I didn't have Hertz at all. No. It's just that how lucky we are. And really, I love what he has evolved into this season, where he's taken everything he's got to work with out here and become what we're putting on the field, and him as a quarterback when we get up there Sunday.
All right, Jerry, we are, there are people on the road right now. There are hundreds of thousands of fans piling in right now, and they're all listening to Jerry Jones. And what's your message to all the people that are walking around this parade today, taking in all this stuff that's going on, all the celebration for this team? What do you want to say to all these fans out here?
Sport, the rough times that you have with sport, everybody has it. Everybody, you can't really play unless you have some hard times. But it is the absolute glory hole to have that elusive win to be the champion. And I'm so proud for every fan that is out here that's headed that way and the ones that are at home. I'm proud for every one of them. And it has really been, I might say, one of the reasons that I wanted to spend my everyday and life in the world of sport. Obviously, there are a lot of hard days, that didn't go your way. But I've always known that given a chance, there's millions and millions of people that would like to be in your shoes. if you're a participant. So that gives you a responsibility to it. So bottom line is this: I'm so proud for our fans. I know our players, the players of the Rangers feel honored. The management, the whole team feels honored to have this kind of support. But they earned it. That's hats off to them, and it is inspirational. There's no way I could have in any way done some of the things that I've gotten a chance to do. As lucky as I've been, there's no way I could have done it without the inspiration of sports. And our Metroplex is going to get this, and is getting it.
Appreciate the time very much, good sir. Can't wait till the Eagles game on Sunday, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Thank you, guys.